Hello, and welcome to Pixel Street Podcast, episode 53. My name is Joel Campos, and I'm joined by the man who bought... What'd you buy, John?
I bought 20 copies of Cadence of Hyrule already.
I was actually thinking of saying you bought like 30 copies of Destiny 2 physically.
Oh, yeah, of course. My favorite game.
John Hansen. What's up, John?
Not much. Some exciting stuff going down this week, and I'm not as sick as I was last week, so we can actually record.
Yeah, you had the Fiji flu, some would say, from rocket power.
Yeah, some would say I kind of died.
Kind of. Yeah, weren't you in the hospital or something, or the doctor? I saw.
Yeah, I was in the doctor for a while. I had a very bad case of the flu, and I was so dizzy and everything. It hurt to have my eyes open and everything. It was not a fun week.
That sounds awful. But anyway, we're here to talk about something much more entertaining than that. A lot of stuff going on this week. You can find our podcast on most podcast platforms on Fridays as well as on YouTube. You can now watch the show directly on our Facebook by searching for Pixel Street Podcast there. Also, I made a Twitter account, John.
What? We made a Twitter account?
Finally. After you kept bringing it up for like months. Sorry, my throat's getting kind of raspy here. You can find us on Twitter at Pixel Street Pod. Pixel Street Podcast was too long apparently, so we couldn't do that.
Oh man.
But yeah, this week we're going to be talking about Stadia, the newest gaming platform, I guess. Not a platform, but in a way a platform.
That's really what they were calling it, was a platform.
By Google. We're going to talk about the Nindies showcase that happened yesterday, as well as some new news, leaked news that is, on a discless Xbox One. Oh, man. Sorry, my throat is very raspy. Let's get into some of the new releases that are coming out in the next week here. I'm clicking on this list. Looks like a lot of Switch games, of course, as is every Thursday.
Yeah.
Bunch of random-ass Switch games. The Sinking City. I've never heard of that.
I can't say there's a lot in here that I've heard of before. The one really big release this week is Sekiro Shadows Die Twice.
Yeah, that is the big one. I have zero interest in that. I tried Dark Souls 2, I believe, for like 2 hours. Couldn't get past like anything, and I was like, yeah, this isn't for me.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Last year, I tried doing a Let's Play series with a friend from work, and the first game he wanted to play was Dark Souls Remastered, because I never touched any of the Souls games, and I gave it a try for about 3 hours. We beat 2 bosses, mostly because of him, and I just was not having fun at all with it, so yeah, I'm in the same boat. I don't care about Sekiro.
Yeah. Another one coming out Friday, March 22nd is Unravel 2 for Switch. That feels like the perfect place for that game to be.
Yeah, it's actually kind of really weird that it didn't come out when it first released last year.
Yeah.
Also, next Tuesday, looks like Final Fantasy VII is coming to the Switch.
Ooh, boy.
So that one, I've never touched any I've played a little bit of Final Fantasy 15, but outside of that, I haven't really touched any of the Final Fantasies. And the Switch is just one of my favorite consoles of all time, so I could really see myself giving it a try.
Yeah, I do love Final Fantasy VII. I think I only beat it once, if that. I don't know if I ever actually beat it. But yeah, I do love the game. I love the characters of the game. I'm not sure how much it is, but maybe it might be worth picking up.
Let's click on it. What was the last one that just released on Switch?
I want to say it was like 15 or 20.
It was like 21.
It's something weird, yeah.
Yeah, it was really weird.
But like, to be honest, people probably own this on multiple consoles already, including the Vita. I'm sure people play it on the Vita.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely something to look into if you're into those games.
What else we got here?
The other big one.
Oh, sorry.
Another big one is MLB The Show 19 coming out Tuesday. Me and John will both be playing that.
Yeah, I'm so excited for that. I've been I've been I'm so excited for this baseball season. I'm a Cardinal fan, and I'm super excited for Paul Goldschmidt to be on my team now. But I just also, playing mostly Xbox for the last few years, my best baseball games to play have been Super Mega Baseball, which they are fine for arcade baseball games, but
Yeah.
I've been just clawing. I've just been wanting to play MLB The Show for a long time now. The last one I played was probably 2007, so it's
Wow,
been a
hold on.
long time.
So you didn't even play last year's game?
I borrowed it from work for a little bit, but I never owned it.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
But so like the last one that I put a lot of time into was, I think, 2007. It was whatever one had David Ortiz on it for the PS2.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw any. Did you see any videos from the new one?
No,
IGN posted some videos with Ryan McCaffrey. He's a huge baseball nerd.
yeah.
But they showed off a new game mode that looks awesome. It's called Road to October, I think. And what it has you do is it has you like pick your team, and then it gives like a backstory of your team, like from last season. And then it says like, oh, they're really trying to, gain momentum or whatever. And based on like, they have you play your first game, and based on how you do in that first game, it affects like the next like week or two. And then like they have you play key moments throughout the season. And at the end, you see if you end up in the playoffs or not. And if you do, you play every game in the playoffs. Which personally I think is really cool. Because what I used to do is I'd pick the White Sox. And the White Sox have been terrible the past few seasons. And I can never win games because they suck so bad. And I don't want to play on easy. And so I'll like sim a bunch of games hoping they get some wins. And because like, no, you have to be a madman to play 162 games in the video game.
Oh yeah.
Like that's dedication right there.
That was me when I was in like middle school.
Yeah, same. And like for me, my team kind of sucks, so I can't sim through the whole season because they're never gonna make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a cool game mode that has you actually play those key games, and it affects the outcome, and then you play the whole playoffs, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, that does sound cool. It's definitely something I'll have to give a try. One other big release this coming Tuesday that I actually had no idea was coming was episode 4 of the Walking Dead final season, as well as all the physical releases for it. So,
oh wow,
this is the end. This is the last episode. So
I thought there were 5. There's just 4.
There's only 4 on this one. So
man,
yeah.
I have some grinding to do because I only played the first one, maybe the second one.
Yeah, I played the first 2. I haven't played the third one, so that's definitely something I'm gonna have to do this weekend.
Is the third one the first one that came out with the new, like after they closed down?
With Skybound, yes.
Okay, so maybe I'm on the third one. No, I think I'm still on the second one. I'll have to check. But maybe I'll play that this weekend. I wish I had that on the Switch though.
It looks like there is a physical version coming out for the Switch, so of course there will be a digital, but I don't think they have it on there yet.
Oh, that's interesting. And also, who knows how that's going to run. That game has problems running on an Xbox One X.
Right, yeah, so.
What else do we have here up until next Thursday?
That was really the big ones for me. I did want to mention Generation Zero, because I played the beta for that a few months ago, and it's got a pretty cool idea where you come in from a vacation or whatever, you're coming home, and the area that you live in has been completely taken over by robots. When I played it, there wasn't very much to it though. It was a very empty world, but it had a pretty cool idea, and it was supposed to be like a shared world thing, kind of like DayZ. So who knows, if they put out a free trial to try it again and they've added much more stuff to it, I would probably see if they've added anything more to it, but at the moment I definitely wouldn't recommend buying it.
Gotcha. I got a quick question for you. You said there's no more games you're interested in. How are you not interested in fun Animal Park for the Nintendo Switch coming out next Thursday, March 28th, 2019?
You know what? You got me there. It's got fun in the title twice. How could I pass that up?
And the best part is that fun is in the title twice, all caps with exclamation points after each fun, and then Animal Park is just Animal Park. No just caps in the first letter of each word.
Ooh, and if you go to the Amazon page that this is linked to, it is frequently bought together with Yoshi's Crafted World.
Coincidence? I think not.
Is Nintendo piggybacking off of the success of Fun Fun Animal Park?
Definitely.
Maybe.
Definitely. Oh man, those games look fun. But MLB The Show, I'm gonna be playing the shit out of. I played a bunch last year's game. I actually just bought PS Plus because my PS Plus runs out at the end of every March. Because that's when I buy it to play MLB The Show online. Because I mainly play Dynasty mode, or not Dynasty, Diamond Dynasty, which is online. And so I just bought that, and now I just got to pre-order the game sometime this weekend.
Nice. I'm gonna have to. I need to renew my PS Plus that expired about a month ago.
Well, hold on. Don't do it yet, because you know how when you game share on Xbox, you share Xbox Live?
Do they do that on Sony?
I don't know. That's why I'm saying we'll have to check. Because I already bought the code, so there's no sense in you buying it unless you want to get the free PS Plus games.
Maybe. Yeah, it just doesn't sound like something Sony would do, but I also didn't think that they would do game share.
I kind of have a feeling that that's unintentional.
It might be.
But anyway, let's get into some of the new Xbox One backwards compatible games. I know that some were just added. Hold on. Maybe not.
We left off at.
We talked about Marathon and Castlevania.
Did we talk about Castlevania? I don't remember that one.
Maybe not. But at any rate, the Xbox 360 version of Castlevania Harmony of Despair is backwards compatible on Xbox One now.
Yep. Does this also include original Xbox games?
Well, yeah, because I think some of them have been games with gold.
Okay.
But I don't know if that list does. Maybe?
Let's just assume so, because I don't think any original Xbox games have been added for a bit, at least.
Yeah. At least since, KOTOR was added, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So some of the free games of the month. John, take it away.
Alright, so on Xbox, you have Adventure Time, Pirates of the Enchiridion. I have no idea how it's said. That is for the entire month of March. I gave that game a try. It's a little turn-based game with Adventure Time characters, so if you like Adventure Time, it seems to be all the original voice actors and everything. Give it a try. I'm not into it personally, but
Look, I enjoy the show, if it's on TV or something, but I'm not going out of my way to watch it, and I don't think I'll try this. But I will download it just because it's free.
It's a free game. For the 360, we have... Star Wars Republic Commando actually just ended. So right now on the 360, it is Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. That is from March 16th to the 31st. And then the other game on Xbox One is Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2 from March 16th to April 15th. I've got it downloaded. That's definitely a game I want to give a try because I've heard good things about that series.
Did you ever play any of them or no?
I played the original Plants vs. Zombies. I didn't play Garden Warfare.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Garden Warfare, it's pretty fun. It's got a real kind of Battlefield vibe to it, the way that there's different classes and each character has its own loadout. But, I mean, it's fun. It's not something I got super into, but I had friends who got really into it.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's definitely something I want to give a try. On PS4, like we said the last time we recorded, the PS3 and the Vita are no longer getting free games on there. And they haven't added any more to the PS4 besides the two. So it's Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered and The Witness right now. On Twitch Prime, we have Star Vikings Forever, The King's Bird, Kabounce. That's an awesome name. I love that.
Yeah, that's a great name.
Snake Pass.
Snake Pass. I never played it, but it looked really cool to me. So, but I don't know if I'd want to play that on PC or get it on my Switch, because I know it's a Switch game.
Definitely sounds more like a Switch game than a PC game. I also know it's on Xbox, but I'm with you. That sounds much more like a Switch game than anything else.
Yep. Moving on, let's talk about some of the games we've been playing. My list is pretty short, and I'm going to be very short about two of the games on my list. First up for me is Apex Legends. I played a bunch of it, like when it first came out. Sorry. When it first came out, and then I kind of like dropped off a bit, and then 2 weeks ago I played in a tournament, for Snowbike Mike over on Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
And we actually came in third place, which isn't terrible. We almost, if we would have won the round we were in, we would have won some money, which would have been cool.
Oh, nice.
But either way, yeah, the game's fun. The Battle Pass just came out this week. I don't know what they're calling it. I don't think they call it the Battle Pass.
I think it's just Season 1 Battle Pass.
Oh, okay. But yeah, so that just came out this week. I'm sure I'll end up picking it up. I don't know. I'll have to look and see like kind of what you get with it. I haven't looked into it at all because I haven't launched the game in a week.
Mm-hmm.
But Apex Legends, I think it's probably the best Battle Royale game out. And Battlefield Firestorm, I think it's called, is coming out next week. The 26th or 25th, I believe, next Tuesday. So we'll see how that does. They just launched the reveal trailer for that this morning, actually. It just looks like Battlefield, so we'll see.
All right. Have you played the new character Octane at all?
No, I haven't launched Apex in like a week, so.
Okay. I played a little bit with some friends 2 days ago, I think. And they are super into Apex. It's like all they're playing right now. They're the same group of people that I used to play Overwatch with all the time. The one guy, he's just super into him. You don't get him right away. You have to unlock him with the in-game currency.
So yeah, that makes sense.
You have to play quite a bit to get him. But, so, I obviously didn't get him because I'm only like level 15 on there, I think. So, he seems to be a fast kind of guy. Like, he stims himself and can run faster. I'm not sure what his ultimate is. But, he seemed pretty cool. The like backstory for him is really cool. So he has two prosthetic legs. You played Titanfall 2, right?
Yes. Briefly. I didn't play it that much.
Did you play the campaign at all?
No, I did not.
Okay, so at the beginning of the campaign, there is this course that you can run through called the Gauntlet.
Oh, yeah. I read about this, but yeah, continue.
The top score is like 12 seconds and 40 nanoseconds or something like that. And the story is that he's the holder of that. And what he did was he threw a grenade down to blast himself forward so he could get that world record. So I think it's really cool that they incorporated that like into the Titanfall story and everything. That's a really cool thing to do.
Yeah, that is cool. And I feel like they could keep doing that with characters from now on, especially once they see the feedback from this, of like, because I feel like people are loving that.
Yeah, for sure.
That they tied it in that way.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. Like, we've always heard that Apex Legends was in the Titanfall universe, but there really wasn't much to suggest that it was, just besides that it's called Apex, because I believe it was like the Apex Hunters were the guys hunting pilots in the campaign of the last one. I can't remember exactly. It's been so long, but that was like the only connection. And now this is just a little more, which is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I think the game is great. Like I said, I'm loving it. When I do play, I think it's definitely the best Battle Royale in my opinion. Because like Call of Duty fell off with me pretty fast. Like I did love that when it came out too, but it didn't stick as much. In Fortnite, I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of the building all that much. So I think that's why I gravitate more towards Apex.
Yeah, I can relate with that.
Yeah, so what have you been playing?
Alright, so the one that's first on my list I'll skip, because we've both been playing it. We'll talk about it when your turn comes up again. So I'm just going to go to Bloodstained Curse of the Moon. So this was a free game for Xbox last month, I want to say. So I believe it's made by the original creator of Castlevania, and it's made like an NES game. The entire time I played it, I felt like I was playing an NES game. It just the way everything moves, how it looks, the sounds and everything, it completely took me back. That being said, this is kind of my first ever run with a Castlevania-like game, and I gotta say I really enjoyed it. It's a very short game. I beat the story in like 2 hours, I think.
Oh wow.
So yeah, it's not. I also only did. There's 2 modes on it. There's casual, where you have infinite lives, and then I think they call it traditional or something, where you only get a few lives, and if you lose, you have to start all the way over. So I just did casual, but I enjoyed it. It wasn't particularly hard or anything. There were a couple bosses that I had to go a couple rounds on, but other than that, it was just an enjoyable game. Kind of makes me want to try a Castlevania game here in the future at some point. But I know there's another Bloodstain game coming out this year, and I think that one's supposed to be a more modern day game. I don't think it's supposed to be set like an NES game or anything like that. But yeah, I really enjoyed my time with it, and I'd recommend giving it a try.
Yeah, is that the free one?
It was free like last month, I think. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, maybe I'll try that then, because I always pick up those free games.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, very short game.
Yeah, I mean, I always like that. Like, I already thought, because I'm planning a vacation to Vegas to visit my parents this summer, and I already thought, like, all right, what games can I get that are, like, quick that I can get through on the plane? And I already thought about picking up Inside, or one of those smaller games.
Yes, definitely Inside. I love Inside.
Is Inside the newer? Oh, yeah, Limbo's the old one. I played Limbo. Yeah. I just have not played Inside.
Yeah, Limbo's the original. Inside is the second one. There is I believe on the Switch, there's a pack where you can get both of them.
Yeah, I already have Limbo, though, so I'd probably just buy Inside.
Gotcha. No, I definitely recommend it. It's great.
Moving on, another game on my list, which I'm just going to talk about very shortly, is Anthem. So I was really excited for Anthem before it came out, because I'm a big fan of, the looter shooter genre, which is another game on my list that we'll get to in a minute. But it came out and it just kind of fell short for me. Like there's a lot of stuff missing. I personally don't I think that the armor in the game looks cool, but my character literally looks the same at max level as he did when he was level 1. And for some reason, for me, that bothers me. Because I feel like with games like this, you associate like leveling up and getting better loot. Like you guys gonna look cooler. Like in Destiny, that's the way it is. World of Warcraft, that's the way it is. Bunch of games like that. So I don't know. And like the content just didn't seem like it was all there for me. Like it seemed like I got through the story and then like all that there was to do were like these 3. I think they're called strongholds, which are essentially like dungeons. Maybe there's only 2 of those. I can't remember. And then I think that the raid is coming out in the near future, or some sort of like higher thing. But yeah, I don't know. It just didn't seem like the content was there for me, so I kind of stopped playing that like a week and a half ago already.
But did you beat the story?
I did beat the story. The story was just all right to me.
Okay.
I enjoyed talking to the people, but it sucked that you can't really make choices. So like you can make choices in what you're saying to them, but it really doesn't have any effect on the rest of the game, like with Mass Effect.
Yeah, and especially since it's made by the same people, you would hope that would be there.
Like, dude, I want to fuck these people. You know what I mean?
Right. I want to bend over their javelin and just get all up in there.
I wouldn't go that far, because there's an animation when you get into the javelin in the game that the inside of it's all padded and like cloth and like.
Yeah,
it just
even
looks
better.
Fucking disgusting. It looks so gross.
Nice and sweaty and everything.
Yeah, it's got to smell so bad. But yeah, I mean, personally, playing this made me realize, like, man, I just want to go back and play Mass Effect 3 because I never played it. I played the first 2 before Andromeda came out. And then I played a few hours of Andromeda and just fell off of it. But yeah, I want to go back and play Mass Effect 3 and then probably play Andromeda. Because I liked what I played of Andromeda. It's just like, I had literally just played Mass Effect 1 and 2, like the month before that, and I was like kind of burned out on playing, a big RPG like that.
Alright.
But yeah, that's Anthem. Maybe I'll go back if they change some stuff, but I'm having much more fun with my other game.
Gotcha.
That we'll both talk about soon.
Yeah. With Anthem, I just... when it was first announced, I was kind of excited for it. I'm like, oh man, this game looks awesome. Like, it was beautiful. Probably one of the most beautiful games we ever seen announced at E3. And then as just more time went by and more stuff came out about it, I'm just like, this isn't for me. Which looter shooters aren't really my thing to begin with. But I was always like, okay, this is cool. And then the beta came out. I gave it a try, and I'm like, okay, yeah, no, this definitely isn't for me. And I didn't buy it. But I've heard that it's okay. It feels a lot like the first Destiny, where the game's fine, but once you beat it, like, there's just nothing.
Personally, to me, it feels like the game was rushed. Like, if this game came out next year, I think it would be amazing.
Gotcha.
Because, like, it seems like they have all the, like, or it seems like it was a single-player game at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, when you're interacting with people, it gives you cool choices to make, but it doesn't affect anything. So it seems like at first they started it as, like, a first-person game, and then eventually, you know, like, Big Dick EA came in and they're like, hey, BioWare, you need to fucking release a game this year. Like, or we're cutting your dick off, you know?
Which is really funny if you think about it, because originally it was supposed to come out last November.
Yeah, and that's what's weird is it feels like it was either rushed to come out or like it was something else that they just kind of molded into this online experience.
Yeah, and that's also just a thing, though, that I think with these looter shooter games that, and just games as a service in general, that I think companies think that they can get by releasing it, and then just throughout the year making it better will be fine. Like, they're like, okay, we can get that second chance now. Like with No Man's Sky and potentially Fallout 76, who knows yet on that. But just like you give these games as a service some time for the developers to add more that arguably should already be there, and they get that base back. Like, look at Destiny.
Yeah, which is, it's really too bad too, because like now I have friends that like would normally buy games like these. Like, I have a friend who would normally buy the Division 2, but he's like, yeah, I'm not gonna buy it. I'll wait, you know, a few months.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna fix a bunch of stuff, and I'll be able to pay $40 for it.
Yeah, and get the next add-on like right away.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I feel like game releases are really weird right now in general.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of, like, you know, if you buy the $100 version, you get to play 5 days early. Like, that should not be a thing.
Yeah, no.
Because most of the time when you're playing 5 days early, there's a bunch of stuff still broken in it. And it's like, and then like when you bring it up to them, they're like, "Oh, well, you're playing the game 5 days early. What'd you expect?"
Yeah,
like,
right.
It makes no sense to me. It's like, just release the patch.
Yeah. Okay. So my next game, I technically haven't even started yet, but over the weekend I plan on starting Devil May Cry 1. So I picked up the Devil May Cry remaster collection thing. It's the first 3 games. So I've only been hearing really good things about Devil May Cry 5, so I've never given the series a try, so I'm like, okay, I kind of want to start at the beginning and just see what people have gone through, because I just don't want to jump right into 5. I don't know if it's got like a complicated story or if it's just a throwaway story or anything. I just want to give it a try. And so yeah, I'm definitely excited to give that a try. Have you played any of the Devil May Cry's before?
So growing up, my buddy Troy, who's actually my roommate now, he, like, when we were like 7, 8, he loved the Devil May Cry games, and he definitely had them. Like, I don't know if it was the first one, second, I don't know what it was, but he was super into it. So I've definitely like played it just being at his house before, but I've never like owned it, or I have no idea what the story's about. So I don't know. But yeah, so it's safe to say no, I've never played it, but technically I have.
Okay. So yeah, I definitely plan on at least playing a bunch of the first one this next week, so maybe next week I'll have more to say on it.
Right on. Let's get into a game that we've both been playing, and you actually reviewed for cultureofgaming.com. The Division 2.
Yep.
I've been playing the hell out of it. I love the game personally. I know you had some problems with it. I also had some problems with it, but for the most part, I think it's pretty clean cut right now.
Yeah, it's
I haven't
a very
seen
good
Twitter.
game.
Yeah, I haven't seen Twitter blowing up about it anything lately since a patch that came out a few days ago. I think Monday.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm loving it. I'm in the end game now. I beat the story. I know you did as well. I think I'm at World Tier 2 now. So right at this point, I'm just grinding for loot and doing the... I don't know if it's even a spoiler to say what the end game missions are. But pretty much
it's just against an enemy, you mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think that's a spoiler. I just don't think Division 2 has any spoilers because that story, it's so uninteresting.
I had no idea what I was doing. Like, I get the overarching story is like, hey, DC's the capital of the country. We should probably rebuild it and take back control.
This was the only game where saving the president, I didn't even realize that I was saving the president until like I actually got him. I'm like, oh, okay. And then he just turned out to kind of be a douchebag, and I just didn't care for him. I didn't care about any of the characters in this game at all.
And then you never saw him again.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, dude, I just saved your ass. I better get access to the president's office every fucking time I want.
Right? Yeah, no. That the writing in this game is not good, I don't think, at all. Sometimes there's some poor voice acting. But yeah, like I said, the characters are not interesting. There's no real reason to really pay attention to it. And sorry. And once you beat the game, it kind of explains what's happening. Let's just say it. Black Tusk comes in, and they're just a paramilitary group that have as good of equipment as the Division. And they take over everything that you've just taken back from the Hyenas, the True Sons, and the Outcasts. And that really bummed me out, really.
Me too.
Because I was looking, and I had cleared out a lot of the control points. Not all of them, but I was like, oh yeah, I really like having these for fast travel points. And once you finish the final mission, every single one is taken away from you. And I'm like, I don't want to run through those again. Like, I just really don't. And what's the real purpose to doing that? Oh, I could get more gear and get my fast travel point back that I had already fought for before. Like, that really bummed me out.
It bummed me out too because I had done so much stuff.
Yeah.
Like, so much stuff, and it just is frustrating that you did a bunch in the game and then it's just all for nothing, essentially.
Yeah,
is the way
very
I see
much. It. Yeah, because there was no real advantage to getting the control points before, besides a fast travel point and like giving people gear so you could get a little more experience. Like, other than that, there was no real point to it. A supply room would open up when you took it over again, and I'm like, okay, but you can get the same supplies just from fighting enemies at any other point in the game. So why?
At the same time, I see why they did it. It's because they needed to give you something to do after beating the game. So I get it in that sense. It just sucks that they couldn't like have opened like, hey, here's another zone that these people are trying to take over. You know, at least give you a chance to like defend from them invading instead of them just like, oh, while you were doing that, guess what? They're here. They took over all of your shit.
Yeah. So people that like grinding for gear and everything, that's cool. For a person like me that doesn't appeal to, it's kind of pushing me away from the game. Ever since I beat the story, I haven't gone up world tiers or anything. I know your one friend was telling me how to do it, and I'm like, maybe I'll do it because I've been playing it a lot with a friend, and he's really into it.
Going up world tiers is pretty easy.
Okay, so maybe I'll do that. But really, since I beat the game, all I've been doing is playing the Dark Zone.
Yeah, I haven't gone to the Dark Zone since I think the first night I had the game.
Mm-hmm.
But I really love the Dark Zone. But at this point, like, I'm max level, so it just makes sense for me to grind gear. And
that's what I've been doing in the Dark Zone.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Have you played Conflict at all?
No, I've not tried it.
It's pointless. It's a waste of time. Don't even try it. The Conflict, there are two modes to it. There's skirmish and domination. So you got team deathmatch or just like domination from Call of Duty, where you just sit on a point. It's King of the Hill. And Division's gameplay just doesn't work for that. It's very slow, very boring. I had no fun with it at all. I played maybe 3 games just so I could talk about it, and I'm like, no. It's the first time I've ever seen a multiplayer only game have a tacked on multiplayer mode.
That's funny.
Right? No, I definitely recommend skipping it.
I mean, I'll probably try it eventually just to see what it is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
But
I haven't heard of anybody talking about that game mode. I didn't even know it existed until like last week at some point.
Yeah.
Like the end of last week. Maybe the weekend?
Remember with Crackdown 3, everyone like talking about, just skip Wrecking Zone and everything. It's the Wrecking Zone of this game, pretty much.
Yeah, it sounds about right. But yeah, I think overall, like, I'm really enjoying the game. It's definitely something I needed right now, is a game to really invest in, because if Division 2 didn't come out, I honestly don't know what I'd be playing.
Okay.
Like, I was at this point where I had, ooh, man, my voice just got really weird. I was at this point where, like, I had nothing that I wanted to play. I probably would just be playing Apex every night, which would get old really fast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And like you said at the beginning, I did get a code from Ubisoft, and I reviewed this for cultureofgaming.com. So if you want, you can check that out. The score I gave on it is a 6.5. And I should really talk about why I gave it a 6.5, because even in the article I mentioned, I probably originally would have given this an 8, but as you also noted at the beginning of this, I had a lot of issues with the game. Not like, oh, I don't like the story writing or any of that. I had a lot of bugs, a lot of glitches, and from everywhere I looked, it looks like people aren't having too many, which is cool, but like it was just like stacking on top of each other. So I got the gold edition, which gave me like 5 days ahead of time to play it. I only got it like 3 days early, but so I only played the first 3 days, and and I barely noticed any problems at all in the like pre-release version of the game. It ran great. I wasn't noticing any bugs. Once the game released, and over that first weekend though, the biggest one I think everyone knows about is the skill cooldown thing, where you would set your turret out and it would just disappear and then go on cooldown, get just nothing from it really.
Yeah.
And that was so annoying to me. I ended up having to use skills that wouldn't do that because they just got used up too fast to go on that cooldown.
Yeah. Everybody that I was playing with, we were all using those seeker mines, and like the gel one, I forget what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we were all using those because those were the only ones that were successfully working, since they just like ran out and blew up right away.
And that's the thing, the Seeker Mine's like my favorite thing, and that one was disappearing on me too.
Yeah, it was hit or miss. But it
Yeah.
worked, I'd say, like 66% of the time.
Really? I had one night where, okay, I'm counting this as both. So the turret and the Seeker Mine are what I usually use. And using both of those, I had like, I think it was 14 straight instances where I would use them and they would just disappear.
Wow.
And I'm like, and I get that was maybe very unlucky, but still, that did influence my score on this game.
You know what's weird as well is that the game came out and all the skills were working fine, and then they brought in the day one patch on Friday, and that's what broke the skills.
Yeah.
So it was fine before that.
Yeah. But also since that patch, I think it did a little more too, because I've seen tons of enemies like walk through walls. Just yesterday I was in the dark zone and there was a falcon flying through this hallway that me and my friend were in, and it was just flying through the wall like nothing there. I've seen just random AI, like the dark zone officer lady that you set your perks up with, she would just T-pose where she was at. My friend would just be following me around in a T-pose. I've seen enemies just start flying.
That's weird. Like, I didn't have any of those bugs. The bugs I mainly had, and I tweeted about it. And it's funny because I tweeted about them, and you responded like, I haven't been having any problems.
Yeah, that was very early in the game. I wasn't seeing anything. And now we're at this point where it's like completely flipped around.
Yeah, it's weird. But yeah, like the problems I was having were, the skills one was the main one. But that didn't come until later. God, I can't even remember what my problems were. I can't even think. Oh, invisible enemies. That's still a problem. Like, you can be running down the road and you'll see the marker of enemies and like, where are these guys? And then you'll just see like shots being fired. And then they'll spawn right next to you, and they'll be killing. Like, it's still happening to me. And then another problem I'm having is where I think it's a loading issue, where like the game, it hasn't rendered what you're running towards yet. Mm-hmm. So I'll be running down the road. Say I'm going from point A to point B, and it's kind of a far distance. And if there's no enemies that I have to stop and kill or anything, and I keep running, I'll eventually just hit an invisible wall. And I think that invisible wall prevents me from moving forward because that area hasn't fully rendered yet.
Mm-hmm.
Which is annoying because to me, like, it looks fully rendered, but to the game it must be like, oh no, if he goes in there right now, like, something's gonna break.
Yeah, no, that's another thing that really bugs me with the Division 2. So I played the Division 1 when it first came out, really enjoyed it. I 100%ed the base game of it. This really bugged me back then too, is just your movement throughout the world is like so clunky and everything. You'll be running down the street and you can hurdle over these small walls and everything and jump over cars, but if there's like a single piece of trash in your way, you just start running in place. Yeah. And you have to like completely stop and then back up and go around it. Bushes you can't go over or through or anything. So if you're in a park and there's an objective in there, but it's surrounded by bushes, you have to like run around the entire block just to find the one entrance for it. That stuff just doesn't feel good. And for a game that requires you, except if you're fast traveling, the game requires you to run throughout the entire city. It just doesn't feel good at all.
Yeah, there's a lot of problems with the game, and this is going to be an ongoing discussion for us on the podcast, because I know at least I'll be playing it. I especially want to, and I think you should too, at least gear up and try whatever the raid thing that's coming out, I think next week is.
Yeah, I am.
Because it's an 8-man thing, so
yeah, for sure.
Maybe we could do that together, because I think 5 of us that have been playing together that plan to do it. So we'll see where we're at come next week.
For sure.
All right, John, it's the best time of the podcast. It's where we talk about news.
The news.
All right, first up, we have an article from Owen S. Good at Polygon. The title says, "More rumors point to discless Xbox One here in spring." Another report, again citing unnamed sources, says a new Xbox One S model launching this year won't have a disk drive. In fact, it could be here sooner than expected. Somewhat corroborating, or at least...
1 second, Joel. Did we talk about this in our last recording?
Is this the one from... Okay, hold on.
This is from March 6th.
All right, hold on. I thought that I added this because I was looking it up earlier, but there's a new article from Windows Central.
Okay,
here we go. Disregard that last one. Okay, this one is from Jez Corden and Matt Brown over at Windows Central. The title says, "First look at Xbox One S all-digital box art, May 7th, 2019 launch planned." So there is an image. I don't know. Have you seen this?
I have not.
Here, I'm going to post it in our doc right now. It's there. Where did my thing go? Where'd that go? Here it is. It says, "Recently we received product photographs of the upcoming Xbox Maverick diskless consoles box, which will be called Xbox One S All Digital Edition, in addition to a bit of additional context on how Microsoft plans to position the device. Initially revealed by Brad Sams at Thurrott.com, Maverick is the codename of an upcoming Xbox One S model and has no disc drive. Instead, the console will be entirely digital. Recently, we revealed that it will have a mid-April debut, likely at Inside Xbox, with an early to mid-May launch window. Additional documents we received indicate that its launch date could be May 7, 2019, with all existing Xbox markets targeted in a global simultaneous release. Oh, that's a lot. But yeah, the box art looks like it has 1 terabyte hard drive. It says, in the box itself, it literally looks like an Xbox One S without the disc drive.
Yeah, it looks... So they have a Xbox One controller sitting on it, and it looks like it's about as wide as 2 Xbox One controllers.
Well, hold on. Let's test it out. Let's see. How wide is the Xbox One X? It's about 2.
Is it? So, because, yeah, the X is the smallest. So is it the same size as an X?
Could be. I think that one of the more interesting things here is going to be how much this thing will cost. Because it's possible, and I think that they'd kill it. Like I said before, if this thing was $150, it would sell like crazy.
Yeah, and in all honesty, I really think that's what it might be. And
I agree. Because I remember when the Xbox One S came out, everybody's like, well, it makes sense to buy that even if you're just looking for a 4K HDR DVD player.
Yeah.
Because that was the cheapest one at the time. Which means that disc drive itself is pretty expensive. So, I mean, if they remove the disc drive, then clearly you'll have something special. If you can sell it for $150, I think people are going to buy it like crazy. But also on the box, it says Minecraft, Sea of Thieves, and Forza Horizon 3. So, it's looking like it'll come bundled with all 3 of those?
I'm not sure about that. That might just be some... I wonder if this is just like a placeholder. Like, maybe those will be like different bundles available for it.
That would make sense.
But also, I could really see them doing a bundle where they just include like a year of Game Pass with it.
Oh, yeah, easily.
Yeah.
That makes the most sense, I think.
For sure.
But yeah, with a 1 terabyte bundle, or 1 terabyte hard drive in the console itself, I could easily see this being $150, which would be awesome.
With it being 1 terabyte, maybe 200, but I think they have to aim for 150 because you can, whenever the 1S goes on sale right now, it's usually for about 200 to 250, and you really want to lower it from that. So maybe they'll have like a 500 gig one that could be even cheaper. So maybe $100, but I don't think they would do that with it being only digital. So 150 for the 1 terabyte is really going to be the sweet spot, I think, for them. And if it's any higher, it might hurt it a bit.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, this is all very exciting because I'd probably pick one up for my bedroom, to be honest.
Yeah, I have no use for it because I have my X, and I mean, this is... the room I'm in right now is pretty much all of my belongings, so no use for me for it right now. But in the future, say it like drops down to like $100 and I get another place for me and my daughter. Okay, here you can have your YouTube and your Netflix in your room, and as well as Minecraft, which she loves, which is also like coming to Game Pass.
Currently, I have my Xbox One X at my desk with my my gaming monitor and computer and all that. And then I have a S in my living room for watching 4K stuff, like Netflix and Hulu. So yeah, I would definitely consider picking this up for the bedroom if it's cheap enough.
Yeah, and like they said in the article there, I could easily see this being announced during an Inside Xbox and then released in May. This isn't a big enough thing to be announced at E3.
No.
That's going to be completely streaming stuff and the next console generation, as well as games and everything. So this isn't big enough to go there. I think getting it out ahead of E3 is a very smart move.
Yeah, I completely agree. But I'm sure we'll hear about that more in the near future.
Oh, yeah.
Moving on.
Next up, we have the Nindies showcase that happened yesterday. And before we get into this, did you watch this live or anything?
Yeah, I watched the kind of funny reactions to it as it was going on.
All right. So yeah, I just watched it, the normal stream live, and early impressions. Just like before we get into this, a lot of good stuff in here. So let's start off here. Very first announcement, which we've kind of heard rumors about in the past. So Cuphead is coming to the Nintendo Switch in April, I believe.
Yes,
April 18th. So yeah, it's gonna have its own physical version, I believe. If anything, you can pre-purchase it right now on the eShop. I'm not sure if it will have its own physical version, but they said that it will be getting all the updates the same day as the Xbox and Windows version, which is really awesome. I'm probably going to end up buying this game again because it's just another example of a perfect game for the Switch.
I agree.
Such a good game. I was very excited to see this. Not only because I love the game and it's brilliant, probably my favorite Microsoft game of this generation, but it just for what that means in the future with all the rumors of Xbox Game Pass coming to the Switch and Ori and the Blind Forest coming to the Switch, I think that really helps with this now. This is just an awesome announcement, and I'm really excited to see what comes after this.
Yeah, I think another cool thing is this is going to be the only the second game on Switch that's going to have achievements.
Oh yeah, because Minecraft.
Minecraft has achievements as well. So you're going to be able to double dip and get some achievements for the same game twice.
Mm-hmm.
If you're into that sort of thing.
As well as playing with the Joy-Cons in split screen, or not split screen, but shared screen. It's so cool. Was a little disappointed though that we got this announcement, but nothing more on the DLC that's supposed to be coming for the game. But regardless, still a cool announcement.
I feel like they're saving the DLC stuff for E3 probably.
Probably. Kind of disappointing since they announced that at last year's E3, and we just haven't heard anything on it since then. But
who knows? Hopefully, it's a same day release.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I would be 100% down for that. And also, I'm pretty sure we've talked about this in the past, but Cuphead took 7 years to make because the developers hand drew everything in this. So
yeah, every animation.
Yeah, Studio MDHR, go support them and buy Cuphead when it comes to Switch and buy it on Xbox because it's amazing.
It's great.
Yeah. Next up, we have Overland. So this one I didn't really pay much attention to, so I'm just going to read this one. Overland combines a beautiful but dangerous atmosphere with turn-based gameplay and a post-apocalyptic storyline. Levels are procedurally generated, so each playthrough is different than the last. The game's first 2D prototype was finished all the way back in March of 2014, so this has been a long journey for developer Finji. The game is now set for release in the fall, as announced by Nintendo. The game is coming to PC as well as the Switch. So just a post-apocalyptic turn-based game. Didn't really do anything for me. What about you?
So there's only 2 games on this whole thing that interests me at all. Maybe 3. It was Cuphead, obviously, because I love that IP overall. And then the only other one that interests me is the next game on the list, My Friend Pedro.
Okay.
And
I'll let you talk about it.
That game looks so cool. I don't know. It just it looks like it should be a Deadpool game, and I'm sure that had some inspiration to it.
Mm-hmm.
I could easily see this being a Deadpool video game, but
okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
It seemed to be a bit out there and everything. After My Friend Pedro, we had Neocab. This one I didn't really see much on. Is this that no, this isn't the pinball one, is it? No, that was Creature in the Well.
Neocab is that game that looks like it should be a dating sim.
Oh, okay. All right, that's why.
It's kind of like a simulation game.
Gotcha.
Where you're the last human cab driver in a city or something like that.
That's it. Okay. After that, we had the Red Lantern, which is like a dog sledding game mixed. It's like a dog sledding survival game.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what it is, but it looked like a dog or multiple dogs die in it, and I'm not down for that.
Yeah, no, I'm not either. But what I think it really is just a survival game where you're traveling, your dogs are pulling you because it's like in Alaska, and I think just depending on where you go, you can run into bears. Like they showed in the trailer, a bear attacking the dogs and killing them. Not cool, dude. Not cool at all. But
not cool.
Yeah, whatever.
Moving on, we have Darkwood. I don't remember what that is, but it says it's a survival horror game.
So it looks like this one is a little different because of its minimalistic nature. It's been... Oh, I think this was the top-down game. It might be. I could be wrong. You know, I don't really remember that one either.
Up next, we have Katana Zero.
This one interested me a little bit.
Oh, this is the one that had the like the Messenger Dark or Dead Cells vibe.
I believe so.
Yeah, I did. I did enjoy this as well.
So you play as, I guess would it be a ninja? I don't know. You play as this girl with a katana, and as people shoot you, if you get hit once, you die, but you can deflect the bullets back at them, and you're supposed to try and get through the maze without dying. It reminded me a lot of like Super Meat Boy, where like the emphasis is like trying to get through a very hard section of the game, and if you die, you just start over and everything. I don't know. It looked really cool to me. Definitely something I'm interested in.
Yeah, I agree, especially for you because you've been getting into all those pixel art games lately with Celeste and Castlevania.
Yeah, for sure.
Next we have Red, a post-apocalyptic game. I don't remember what that was about.
This one
didn't interest me.
This one was the Double Fine game.
Yeah, it didn't
the guys
look
that
good
make it's the mind reading game, Psychonauts.
Yeah.
When they first said Double Fine, I'm like, okay, I'll pay attention for this, and it had some interesting things. It looked like you're in a post-nuclear world, and as you like fight enemies, you can mutate yourself. I don't know. They had some weird things, like at one point your guy lays eggs, and like little spiders with his head on it are following him around. And
oh, I remember. Red is the one where you grow like a mutant arm or something, and it's kind of like a weapon you would pick up almost.
Yeah, it was very into the mutation thing. There was like one part where he like turned his head into like a T-Rex head or something. I don't know. It looked just odd. But if you're a fan of Double Fine, definitely give it a look at. Next one was Creature in the Well. This is the one that I mentioned a little earlier. So it's a game that's really inspired by pinball. So you're going into these like pyramids, and every room has these machines that shoot orbs at you, and you want to hit the orbs back, and they bounce off the wall and everything, kind of like a pinball machine. Definitely something new. I don't know if it's really something I'm interested in, but it was different.
Yeah, it did look pretty interesting. The whole pinball thing. I don't know. It like graphically it looked pretty cool too.
Mm-hmm.
Up next on the list we have Bloodroots, which is, I think this is the game that I saw and I was like, that game does not look like it's done.
Oh yeah, I completely agree.
It looked like super basic like inventory menus and stuff. Like the way that the characters were moving looked like they just took it straight out of some like Unreal Engine and didn't even modify it to their needs or anything.
It looked very early access.
Yeah. And then we have Pine. Open worlds are beginning to get overdue and boring unless it comes with something truly unique. It's hard to say if this one has what it takes to stand out in an oversaturated genre. You play as Hugh, a human that is part of one of the last human tribes in Albamare. So, I don't know. I don't remember that one.
I don't remember that one either. Vlambeer Games, I also don't recognize that one, so we can just skip it. Swim Sanity, this was a co-op game that takes place all underwater. It says here, underwater action title reminds me a little bit of Nidhogg. I don't agree with that. It looked more like it kind of looked more like gameplay that you would see in the new Super Mario Brothers games, but like a water level, but more to it, you know? Like, it looked like there were a bunch of weapons to pick up and everything. But I didn't get a good look at it, but it looked like an interesting cooperative game, and I'm always down for more of those.
Up next, we have Blaster Master 02.
Yep.
I don't remember what that is.
So, Blaster Master Zero, I believe, is a really old game, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So this is a surprise sequel for that. I've never played the original game, so I can't say much on it. It looked cool. It looked like it had a big emphasis on the vehicle he was driving. It looked like, I don't know, like you're supposed to travel around in that and keep that up to date and everything. I really couldn't talk much on it.
We also have Stranger Things 3 the game, which is exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah, I believe this was announced at the last Nindies showcase.
I think it was announced at the Game Awards.
Oh, that's it, yep.
Which is just a pixel art. It's going to coincide with the Stranger Things Season 3 that comes out July 4th, same date as this. And then the last game is Cadence of Hyrule, which is essentially Crypt of the Necrodancer, but a new game, I guess. And I've never played the old one.
I never played Crypt of the Necrodancer either, but this was an awesome announcement. So it starts off with the girl saying, "Oh, thank God I'm finally out of the crypt, but where am I? I don't recognize this place." And I'm just looking at it and I'm like, huh, this looks familiar. And she's like, "Oh, I think I was brought here for a reason." And then you just start hearing the Legend of Zelda theme in this new like remix, and I'm like, what? And then it says, "This time I have friends," and then Link and Zelda pop up and they're playable characters in the game. So like I said, I haven't played Crypt of the Necrodancer, but this is a game I am definitely gonna give a try. Apparently it's got some like dungeon crawling, but also you have to like pay attention to the beat, and you have to like fight enemies to the beat of the music that's playing or something like that.
Yeah, I've never played it. It looks interesting though.
It looks very interesting. So I did a little looking into this because this is a small team working on this. This is an independent developer that has less than 24 people working on it. And they originally went to Nintendo and they're like, "Hey, we really want to include Zelda as a DLC character in Crypt of the Necrodancer game." And they're like, "Oh, you know what? We really like this. How about you work on this game and just include Hyrule and Link and Zelda?" Which, with Nintendo, that's absolutely unheard of. Like, giving the Legend of Zelda franchise to an independent...
Yeah.
Not just a third party, but an independent developer. Like, they've given Mario to Ubisoft. They also gave Star Fox to Ubisoft. This is beyond that. Like, this is really awesome to see. The game looks really good. It's supposed to be coming out this spring. I saw it's going to have 25 remixed Zelda songs in it. I'm very excited for it. But I'm also a huge Zelda fan.
That like techno-y Zelda music was pretty awesome.
It was.
All right, so we have one more article. I say we just we ignore like talking about it too much. We'll get more into it next week.
Okay.
But yeah, go ahead, take it.
All right. So Google tries to reassure gamers about Stadia speed and latency concerns. We haven't really talked about it much yet. Stadia was announced this week. Video game streaming platform from Google. You pretty much go into Google Chrome, click on a button, and you can play Assassin's Creed Odyssey and other AAA games. No price point, don't know when it's coming out, we just know sometime this year. So a lot of people's concerns with it lately have been, well, what about internet speeds and latency? Like, there's some issues there, like, this isn't going to be for everyone. Yeah. This is by Kyle Orland at Ars Technica. A very different article for me to find, but I found it. Google's Phil Harrison tells ours that Stadia game streaming should provide a smooth, full-resolution experience on internet connections above a threshold of 20 to 30 megabits per second, a level that should allow for hundreds of millions of potential players in the markets that we're talking about. While the company set a threshold of 25 megabits per second for its beta testing late last year, Harrison told ours that in actual fact we only use an average of 20 megabits per second. It obviously bounces up and down depending on the scene. Since that beta, Harrison said infrastructure and codec improvements now allow us to get up to 4K resolution at 60 frames per second within about 30 megabits per second. So we saw a dramatic increase in quality between them, and now without a significant increase in bandwidth. So he pretty much goes on to say, yeah, there are going to be people that won't be able to use this, and we understand that, but we are very excited for this technology, is essentially what he says. We can kind of just go straight into the topic of the show on this. Just really, what are your first thoughts on Stadia right now?
So I tried Project Streamout, which was the kind of test they did for this. Back in November or December. Like, I tried it out and it ran surprisingly well. But to be fair, I have 250 megabyte download speed. Okay. And there was still latency. Like, I mean, it wasn't very much latency, but there was latency. So that's one concern I have. And I have like really fast internet. So there was
one
that.
thing.
So
one thing that they were
it
saying
well
that
enough.
would take care of that is the controller that they announced actually connects to the Wi-Fi instead of whatever device you're using.
Yeah, which I think is going to help the latency a lot because it's essentially connecting directly to the game server, not connecting to your computer and then connecting to that and then feeding back to your computer.
Yeah.
So, yeah, as long as that controller works out nicely, I think it'll be nice. The thing that kind of sucks for me is I don't personally like the way that controller looks because I like the Xbox controller with the asymmetrical sticks, the offset sticks. So I don't know, maybe in the future they can come out with some sort of dongle that essentially gives any controller the Wi-Fi if you plug into the USB.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Any controller can be used with it, but it won't have that Wi-Fi access.
Also, I don't think any controller can be used with the Chromecast. So I don't see how that's going to work for that. You're going to have to buy that controller if you're trying to play it with a Chromecast.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I've never tried Chromecast.
Well, Chromecast is literally just essentially an HDMI. There's like no ports in it or anything. So,
does it have Bluetooth?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't think so.
Okay. Well, if it doesn't, then they're going to have an issue. Or maybe the next Chromecast will have that USB port for it and Bluetooth. I'm not sure.
Could be.
Yeah, my early thoughts on it are this is really cool stuff. I'm more excited to see what Microsoft has to say at E3 about their streaming stuff. What they showed here was really cool. The like instant transferring from computer to laptop to phone to TV if you have a Chromecast was really cool. I did notice a little latency even in that demonstration, so it was cool that they were actually showing the stuff, like it wasn't just a pre-recorded thing. But I did notice a problem there, and that I believe that was with the Google controller. So I'm kind of in a wait and see approach. Definitely need to see when it's coming out and how much it's going to be, because they did not announce that at all. But for the way the industry is going with streaming technology, and we know both Google and Microsoft are really working towards this, it was exciting to see, but I'm kind of in a wait and see approach at the moment.
You see, I think that Microsoft kind of has an advantage on this.
Oh, yeah.
Because not only are they working on the streaming stuff, granted, we haven't seen anything from it. We don't know how well it's going to work or anything. But if it works well enough, I think they have the advantage because they also have Game Pass. And I feel like those two things are going to be combined. So, which is nice because like with this Google thing, say your internet goes down one day, that just means you can't play any games at all. Mm-hmm. Or say your internet's running slower or something, and you're playing at essentially 480p on your TV. Like, that doesn't sound fun.
No,
Whereas with Xbox Game Pass, you can just download the game and you could play, in 4K or whatever.
Yeah, and that was the thing that they were really trying to make a point with Stadia was, oh, there's no installations and there's no updates that you have to wait on. Cool, but then, yeah, all those situations that you brought up do come up, like, my internet's down today, so I can't play anything.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that Xbox has a huge advantage there because, being able to download the game, which wouldn't mean that you can't just stream it as well on your Xbox. You know what I mean? You'd still be able to stream it, but you could also download it to get it, as crisp looking as you'd want or as you could possibly get with no latency at all.
Yeah, I could really see a situation where, say you have Game Pass and it just asks, would you rather stream this or do you want to download it and have it whenever you want?
Yeah, I'm sure we're going to be talking more about this in the coming weeks as more articles come out. That just about wraps up the Pixel Street Podcast episode 53. This episode is for Friday, March 22nd, 2019. Email us some topics at pixelstreetpodcast@gmail.com. Hit us up on our brand new Twitter at Pixel Street Pod. Find us on Facebook, Pixel Street Podcast. You just got to search that there and you'll find our page. My name is Joel Campos. You can find me on Twitter at Campos63 or on Mixer at Campos63. John, where can we find you?
On Twitter, I am at Revic Shadows, and on YouTube, just search Revic Shadows, and you can find me, or go to youtube.com/JohnJW92.
Right on. We will see you next week. Later.
Bye.